This week on My So-Called Podcast, we are going back to the week of September 17th, 1997.
That's right, Gary. That's whenever Elton John released The Big Picture, his album, and Bart Freundlich released The Myth of Fingerprints.
Like the past. The movie never changes. It can't change, but every time you see it, it seems different because you're different. You see different things.
Hey, welcome to My So-Called Podcast. I am Gary Linton.
And I'm Eric Spiegel.
Eric, how are you?
Gary, you know, I'm doing pretty well.
I didn't mean to throw you a curveball. It was just
I want to be present with you right now, Gary, and tell you exactly how I'm feeling. I'm excited.
Okay.
To be podcasting with you. How about that?
That's is an acceptable answer that I like. This is My So-Called Podcast, your 90s podcast where we answer the question, hey, Gen Xers, why were you so into swing music for 2 years there? I believe we answered that question.
Yeah. I was a big part of that, Gary, and I don't want to apologize. It's too late to apologize. It's too late.
Too late to apologize.
It's too late to apologize for the very strange and lengthy swing craze of the late 90s.
You know what? I was reading a thread on Twitter, I know, about how...
Go on, tell me more.
One of the problems is that radio is all owned by like Clear Channel now. So the swing craze was a result of before radio was owned by the same person, and it was regional and things kind of started taking off from different radio stations. So but
I don't want to get too Gen Z on your ass, but don't you think like that has the potential to happen now that radio is getting to be less and less a factor?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess, you got like Spotify. Yeah, I guess everybody's plugged into the same thing now, though. You don't have these local...
you got SoundCloud. You got people with their SoundCloud.
That's true.
And YouTube.
We'll see where it goes. Maybe swing music will become a big thing again.
I'm glad you brought us back to that because that's definitely what I care about in this conversation.
Exactly. But we talked about swing a little bit on our last episode, so go listen to that one. This week, we're talking about two other pieces of art that were released roughly in the same week. Elton John's The Big Picture, which says 40th album, probably. I don't know. So many albums.
Sweet Jesus. It is... Hang on.
And while you look that...
25th studio album.
Okay.
25th studio album.
And then Bart Freundlich. Yeah, Bart, Mr. Julianne Moore. Go ahead and write in. Tell us how to pronounce your name.
I want to say Freundlich.
Freundlich. Okay.
But I mean, if he's German, like
no,
Freundlich.
He's from New York.
Then it's probably like Freundlich.
Freundlich. The Myth of Fingerprints.
Myth of Fingerprints. The blockbuster hit. Couldn't get away from it. 1997. It was either Titanic or Myth of Fingerprints.
Myth of Fingerprints. It was on everybody's mind. Everybody's top 10 list.
Everybody had a picture of Blythe Danner and Roy Scheider on their cubicles at work with little hearts around them.
Well, we were in college at 97, and we had it. It was on all of everybody's college dorm walls. We're going to talk about that the second half of the podcast, though. The first half, we'll talk about Elton John's The Big Picture. But before we talk about that, sometimes we talk about 1997. We were both, this would have been...
Sophomores in college.
We didn't go to the same college for our new listeners. We went to different colleges, but we were the same year.
So 1997 September was my final month of being single ever.
Ever? Oh yeah. Well, hey, you're not dead. You're not dead yet.
That's true. I could really screw something up. Thanks for keeping that. I'll keep my eye on the ball game.
That's right.
Oh, did you get new glasses?
I did. Yes.
You look great.
Thanks. Okay, besides that, 1997, I remember, which was great for me, is I was away at college and I had a dorm to myself. They didn't have a roommate for me, so I was able to live in the dorm by myself for a little bit. I was pushed those beds together. I was living large like a king.
So you knew that it was gonna eventually end.
Yes.
So you should have sort of made the room still like perfectly calibrated to your expectations, and then make that like permanent. So
you're right.
Like you get each bed spring and you test it for like bounciness and squeak, and you like change them all out just so your
even
bed
the spring. Well, yeah, Erica, where were you in 1997? I should have, I guess you were trying to get in somebody's pants.
I took her to the on-campus showing of Psycho in September of 1997. So, I mean, that was cool, right?
That was cool. So, wait, the original Psycho, not the remake, right? Not the Gus Van Sant?
I believe, if memory serves, the remake came out in December of 98. So, yeah,
okay.
A little ahead of that. It was, a campus, like a college movie screening of Psycho.
Okay. So that was what's going on in 1997.
It's hard for me to remember exactly. I was taking like chemistry and physics. I was getting to be friends, much closer friends with a friend of the show, Paul Wegman, over that time.
Oh, yeah. He's a great guy.
Yeah, he usually listens to the podcast about this long and then he shuts it off.
That's right. He's done. So we need to make sure to get all our Paul compliments in at the beginning.
Mm-hmm. Got to front load those if you want him to hear them.
That's right.
Like eventually, if we have sponsors, like if there's like sour cream brands that want to market directly to Paul, or like Scotch, whiskey or something like that, you got to put those commercials. We'll do it for you. Just tell us who you want to target, and we'll put those ads on his feed only early.
That's right. Yeah, we get hyper targeted ads. We can promise you that, more than Facebook.
Right. You just tell us who you want the ad to go to, each individual person, and when they download our podcast, we will include a special commercial just for them. So it could be like, "Hey there, Paul. Are you enjoying your taco? I bet not, because you don't have enough sour cream on it.
You know what? Go
get
back.
some sour cream. This is your conscience."
Not really. It's Eric.
Anyway.
Anywho.
Yeah, so I was making good friends with a friend and making good friends with a future girlfriend. So life was pretty sweet in the fall of 1997, if I do say so myself.
And you were like, I need to listen to some Elton John, and I need to go to see the premiere film of Bart Freundlich.
Yep. I mean, really, honestly, that's not that far off from what I would be into, but I definitely did not do either one of those things at the time.
I also need to do it. Well, I guess we'll talk about it in the second half of the podcast, but this is Myth of Fingerprints is a Thanksgiving film because they come home for Thanksgiving, and I just wanted to highlight that. It's Happy Thanksgiving, everyone, early.
Yeah. We might try to sneak in another one.
We probably
never know.
You never know with us.
You never know. But yes, it's definitely a self-contained Thanksgiving story. Very Thanksgiving-y. Very heavy on the Thanksgiving turkeys and everything.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in the second half of the. I have some thoughts on that.
I just want to keep people interested. I don't want them to think we're not going to talk a lot about the Myth of Fingerprints this episode.
Wait, what? Yeah, and then those are teasers. Maybe Paul will hang around this time.
Yeah, Paul. It's almost as good as sour cream to listen to the second half of the show.
Second half of my so-called podcast is good as sour cream. What else we do is, in order to get, I know everybody's feeling very 1997 after me talking about how I didn't have a roommate and Eric went and saw Psycho.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I wasn't living a total like very pop culture-y 1997. I think I did go see Kiss the Girls and I Know What You Did Last Summer around this time.
Okay.
In the theater. So that was sort of and then I was probably listening to a lot of Be Here Now still because that came out like
Oh, yeah.
earlier in the year. So I was listening to the hell out of it because it was the follow-up to my favorite album at the time, you know?
Right. I remember that.
That was my pop culture-ness of that moment.
Okay. But Eric, you kind of took me off because I was going to go ahead and steer into trivia to get people into the mood of 1997, but you just did that. You got them all thinking about.
The thing is, Gary, is you were kind of negging me. So I had to respond.
How else am I going to keep you as my podcast co-host? You know, if I build you up too much, you're going to be like, oh, I'm going to go host with somebody else. I'm better than you. So I got to keep negging you.
You know, that's just abusive.
Well, I am a broke. When I say broke, I mean, emotionally broke. White man. So that's why.
Broken.
Yeah, there you go. That's what I want.
Emotionally broken white man. EBWM. That's your Myers-Briggs.
Oh yeah, right. I fit right into that. All right, moving on. We like to ask each other questions to get everybody kind of in that 1997 frame of mind. And so we'll do that now. I don't know what the score is. It was 0-0 on our last episode, but I don't have what.
Do you want me to go get the notebook?
That's all right. We will.
The Nicholas Sparks book? I have it right over here.
the listeners. Oh, right. Yes, can you? Let's go ahead and pivot the podcast into you just reading from the notebook.
Chapter 1. Here's what I imagine the beginning of that book to be. Boy, Ryan Gosling sure is hot in that old-timey outfit.
A young James Gardner, played by Ryan Gosling. Wait, spoiler.
Spoiler for the Notebook, everybody.
That's right.
I'll go get the.
I'm sure our careful listener knows the score.
Listener, if you don't know the score and you really want to know it, we will say it first thing in the second half. I promise.
That is the My So-Called Podcast guarantee.
So just hang in there, or you can fast forward to it and then rewind again to get right now.
Yeah, I'll make
now is where you are.
Eric, I will ask you first. Are you okay with that? And you have some sort of objection?
I mean, I'm not an attorney.
Okay.
So I don't think that I know how to make an objection, really. I'm sure it would be overruled. I could say objection. Do you think you have to yell objection, or is that just TV?
That's just TV, I think. I don't know.
You could probably just say objection?
Well, yeah, I think so. I'm not a big city lawyer.
What's the question from the real world? Like, do you think that like people ever do go objection?
That's right, Your Honor. Objection, leading the witness.
Oh, are we gonna sit here and listen to Mr. Smith? Anyway, I guess maybe sometimes, but it seems immature, right?
Yeah, I think so. What star?
No, I don't have objections.
Okay. What star explained his 3-year absence from Beverly Hills 90210 by claiming he got lost in Aaron Spelling's house?
That's funny.
Yeah.
I didn't know one of them was gone for 3 years. But I will say Luke Perry.
Sideshow Luke Perry is the answer.
I guess I kind of remember that too a little bit. And maybe I'm just making this up, but you could imagine that Luke Perry could have tried to leave to be a leading man, and it didn't quite work out. So he comes back and he's back on the show. That seems vaguely familiar to me.
Yeah, right. I think he was doing Buffy the Vampire Slayer, right? Yep.
I actually kind of enjoy Luke Perry as an actor.
Yeah, you
Enjoyed. I know, past tense. But sometimes historians, they use the present tense too.
Okay, you're right.
They could say like Henry VIII gets up in the morning,
yes,
and he washes his hands in a poor person's mouth.
I don't believe Henry VIII ever washed his hands.
You don't think so?
Or liked to be around poor people.
I wonder how accurate our historical depictions of that kind of stuff is, especially like the toilets and stuff.
I don't know. Yeah, there was some headline I saw. I didn't read the article, but how did they use toilets in ancient Rome? I just scrolled past that article.
Yeah, let me tell you what.
Yeah.
Modern plumbing, we've really got it going on with that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Love it. Love it. Hey, here's the modern plumbing.
Should I ask you a question?
Yeah, I like that. I like that idea.
Potty talk, literal potty talk. What movie has Jack Nicholson's character describe men? Oh God, sorry.
Yeah.
What movie has Jack Nicholson's character describe women as men without reason and accountability?
I believe that's As Good as It Gets. 1997, Jack Nicholson, right?
Yep.
Okay.
As Good as It Gets. James L. Brooks is As Good as It Gets.
Greg Kinnear.
Greg Kinnear, Helen Hunt.
Skeet Ulrich.
In a 2-second role.
Yep. Cuba Gooding Jr.?
Cuba Gooding Jr. sort of reprising his role from Jerry Maguire a year before, but just as a smaller character.
That's right. He has a couple of, just as some taglines or some catchphrases.
He plays a wide receiver.
That's right. I do not remember As Good as It Gets.
What?
Nope.
Gary.
Nope. I'm asking you. Let me ask you.
I like asking you better.
What actor said Con Air let him become the first post-Heston non-biblical action star in sandals?
I guess that would be Nicolas Cage.
No. It was John Cusack said that about Con Air.
Oh. He wears sandals in that movie?
I guess so. I don't really remember that. What actor?
I thought he was like a cop. What's he doing with sandals?
The first post-Heston non-biblical action star in sandals. I guess he wore sandals in.
Yeah. I mean, I don't remember that. But I mean, it's not surprising to me that I don't remember Con Air. I don't think we've watched it for the podcast.
We have
I don't
not,
think I've
no.
seen it since I saw it originally.
Yeah, same.
Although, it was fun. Ryan and Stu and I went to the Dollar Show and snuck Taco Bell in our coats and watched Con Air. It was just fine.
Yeah. That's right. That's how I would describe Con Air also. Just fine.
Yeah. Like, what it's like is like a cartoony anime that doesn't take itself very seriously.
Yeah, I remember Steve
But
Buscemi.
less fun than that sounds.
Steve Buscemi was a lot of fun in it, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. Yeah. It just doesn't feel like they're trying to be reality at all in that one.
No, I don't think so.
And I did not appreciate John Malkovich just doing Hannibal Lecter.
Oh, well, he was upset he didn't get the part.
Now I can ask you.
Yes.
Now that I sucked it up. What bumbling character did Disney feature on the big screen despite protests from the National Federation of the Blind?
Oh, I guess Mr. Magoo, but that's not Disney.
Disney buys everything, Gary. You should know that.
Yeah, I wonder how
You
Disney
think
got
it
that.
had Leslie Nielsen in it, maybe?
I believe
Or
that's the
that
case.
version?
Yep.
Everybody's trying to make Leslie Nielsen happen in the late 90s. It's like, guys, he's good in Police Squad. He's good in The Naked Gun 1. You don't have to. He peaked. He's also in Airplane. You don't have to keep making Leslie Nielsen movies that nobody sees.
Yeah, I obviously do. Spy Hard. Wasn't he also in the Mob movie, for that parody
Yes.
mob movie? Yep.
Mafia exclamation.
That's right, Mafia. You know which one
they put Lloyd Bridges in that one.
You know which one I did like he was in? That was kind of like a really C list, was Repossessed. Had Linda Blair as being repossessed by the devil.
Yeah, it was like Leslie Nielsen became Ernest.
That's right. That's right.
And it's like, I guess it is kind of funny to see him do that bit over and over again, but it's like, it gets less funny with time.
That's true. Yeah, and not as skilled hands as the Zucker brothers at their height, I guess, too, because they've gone downhill. Okay, I don't want to say.
This is depressing.
Exactly. Let me go ahead and on to the next question.
That sounds good.
What was blamed for Japanese typhoons in 1991 and the Australian drought in 1997?
Oh, is that El Nino?
That's correct.
Yeah, I liked El Nino more than global warming.
Yeah, right. I think it's still happening. El Nino still does cause some problems, but not, the 90s was, I guess, maybe when we were conscious, but because it seems like it's a, not yearly event, but it happens several times throughout the decade now. And
so did we just figure it out in the early 90s?
I guess so. Yeah, I don't know why, because that's the first time I remember hearing about it was in the 90s. El Nino.
Yeah. Man, this is really interesting,
isn't it? Yeah. So this is what they come to listen for.
that two people don't really know what El Nino is.
Well,
we can talk about it for a solid minute.
That's right. You got one last question for me.
What do collectors call the cloth tags sewn into the backsides of Beanie Babies?
Oh, what do collectors call the cloth tags? I don't even know.
This is Beanie Baby slang. You don't know any of that?
No, right. I guess it would be no, I don't know.
They call them tush tags.
Tush tags, of course. I had a tush tag I had to go see a dermatologist about.
Right. Yeah, they can just freeze those right off.
Yeah, I know. That's what he was pretty impressed. He's like, you don't have to take your pants all the way down for that tush tag that you have at the top of your butt crack.
Right. Just hold still.
Yep.
And we'll take care of it for you. I'll tell you what. If a doctor says, just hold still, I'm going to come at you with this scalpel, you just tell him to stop.
Okay.
That has never been great.
That's okay. That's good advice. I'm going to tell him to stop. All right, I wrote it down.
Yeah. I'm just having flashbacks to the time that happened to me, and the numbing medicine was not all it was cracked up to be.
Oh, ouch.
It's not great to get cut on. It's really not so great.
I wouldn't think so. Okay, well, that was a rousing. We both got 2. I'm going to write that.
Yeah, we'll add that to last week's score, and we'll tell you what the score is right after the first half, and right at the beginning of the second half.
Stay tuned.
So now you can rewind to here if you want to go there right now, right?
Right. Yeah, right. Yes.
Part 2.
Yes. So now we're going to move on to talking about The Big Picture by Elton John. But before we do that, we're going to go ahead and say what was on the radio when Elton John released his album. I'm going to go ahead and handle that list here, Eric. Number 10 that week
Sounds
was
great. Thank you.
Number 10 that week was Never Make a Promise by Drew Hill. Solid
Drew
advice.
Hill, never make a promise about anything.
I think so. I think that's what they're saying, what he's saying.
Hang on.
It wasn't Drew Hill. Was it a band or was it just the one guy?
I think it's a band.
Okay.
Yeah, it's because it's DRU and it's 4 gentlemen.
Okay, that's what I thought originally.
That's a pretty good jam, actually. I'm kind of liking it.
Yeah.
It's that synthesizer noise nobody uses right now, but everybody used back then. That's sort
right.
of, I don't know.
Drew Hill was also involved in that Wild Wild West song, remember? I think that was Will Smith featuring Drew Hill.
And Stevie Wonder.
That's right.
And a failing motion picture.
That was a horrible movie.
It was so bad.
It was pretty bad.
Like, they must have known while making it.
I think so, yeah. And I think, we talked about that on a previous episode. Number 9 is Barbie Girl by Aqua. Talk about your one-hit wonders.
Yeah, and what a hit it was.
It was,
you know?
Yep.
And it'll be popular forever because it'll be on Kids Bop until we die.
And it's it's stuck in my head forever. I'll never.
As long as there's Barbies, I'm sure somebody will sing that to kids, and then kids will sing it, and then it'll just live forever.
That's right.
So Aqua, you shun them as a one-hit wonder, but they're now immortal.
That's true. They've done more than I have. Number 8, Semi-Charmed Life by Third Eye Blind. Do do do
do do do do do do do do do do do do.
All right. Number 7, I'll Be Missing You by Puff Daddy and Faith Hill Faith Evans featuring
Faith Hill would be an interesting thing. Did she sing the Sting thing?
I think so. Yep.
Wow, that would be a real mashup. That would be like Old Town Road before it even ever happened.
That's right. But no, it was Faith Evans. That was number 7. Number 6, You Make Me Wanna by Usher.
Oh, yeah. We've talked about this. These very same songs, they must have been popular for a long time.
Yeah,
I think it makes you want to, look into his health insurance at work and make sure that all of his dependents are covered.
That's right.
Is that what that's about?
I think so, if I remember correctly. Number 5 that week was 2 Become 1. Oh, it's it's a really steamy top 10 single list. You Make Me Wanna, 2 Become 1.
Yeah.
Semi-Charmed Life.
Closer, baby. Get it on. 'Cause tonight is the night to become. That's a dirty song.
It is a dirty song.
It's just sexy times with the Spice Girls.
Sign me up.
Sign you up in 1997, I'm sure, as well.
Yes. Number 4, How Do I Live by Leanne Rimes.
From Con Air.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Number 3, Quit Playing Games with My Heart by the Backstreet Boys.
That's a pretty good one. I think that holds up.
Okay.
I don't mind that song. Yeah.
Number 2, Mo Money, Mo Problems. You say it, Biggie. Notorious B.I.G. featuring Puff Daddy and Maze.
Yeah, that's one of the greatest songs ever made.
Yeah.
This was one of my favorite hip hop songs.
Yeah, this was really great when it was playing at Cosmic Bowl.
Yeah.
Loved it.
I mean, that song is so good, it makes me forget Puff Daddy's in it.
Right. Yeah, it's a good song. Number one that week was Honey by Mariah Carey.
Yeah, also has Puff Daddy in it.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he was
He
huge.
infiltrated the Carey verse at this point as well.
Right. Puff Daddy, huge.
Yeah,
But
honey, I think that song was. I mean, this is my personal opinion, and is that song was popular because it had a really expensive video, but nobody can hum or sing that song these days.
yeah, I remember that MTV talking about the video and how expensive it was, and I remember her.
A lot of riding around on jet skis.
That's right.
At sunset and whatnot.
Yeah, that's right. I remember that video. Don't remember the song. So
It was the TRL days where videos got real expensive again for a little while.
yeah. They were big. But that was worth the songs that were on the charts, and Elton John was like, "I got this. Here's the big picture."
Well, you jest, because this was probably not a really relevant album to what was going on musically, but Elton John's single of the Princess Diana version of "Candle in the Wind" had "Something About the Way You Look Tonight" on the B-side.
That's right.
And that song is the number one all-time selling single, like, ever.
Oh,
like, number
yeah.
one.
Right.
So, I mean, in a way, he conquered the charts so completely that he became irrelevant.
That's right. Yeah, he did.
Am I supposed to ask?
Yeah, you start
or-
the conversation about the big picture, Eric.
Okay, so I guess I would say, okay, so we agree. He defeated the charts so completely that he became irrelevant. I guess I would say either that had already happened to him, or you think that this was the moment that it happened.
Oh, that's actually, I thought you would. Yeah, I'm gonna go with this. Probably was this moment is when it happened to him, because prior to this, I guess he had I mean, I don't know how relevant he is for doing that "Candle in the Wind" song, right?
No, not yeah. Well, I think that's what I'm trying to say, though, is that was so huge with, like, everybody's grandma that cared about Princess Diana, and it was so, like, very the older generation kind of a thing.
Yeah,
I think, and also it's just a cover of one of his other songs.
Yeah, right.
It's like, it's very tacky.
It is. Yeah, it was very, very tacky, and for him to do that, and so he liked Princess Diana, and he wanted to show. Yeah, I guess I don't have any problem with him doing it. I don't know.
I don't even care if it was in her will for him to do that. It's still tacky, just like not mean or cruel or anything, but just like, it's a tacky thing to go buy a single because a princess died and you want to commemorate her death. It's like, it's tacky.
No, you're right. It's tacky. And then previous to that, I guess he had done, like, the biggest thing he had done was, like, in the 90s was, I guess, The Lion King, right? Because
oh yeah, so he was on top of the world because he had his 80s revival with with your "I'm Still Standing" and your "Sad Songs Say So Much,"
and
I don't want to
go
on with you like
don't
that.
go breaking my heart
With Kiki D.
Yeah,
You know it. So he had sort of a fun 80s. He really kind of embraced the vapid 80s and had a lot of sort of stupid songs, goofy videos and stuff, which he had done in the past, but it was more like flamboyant, I think, in the 70s. Whereas in the 80s, it was like sort of just goofy.
Yep.
And then, I guess, unless you went to his concerts, I'm sure they were still very out there. But I'm not sure. He might have just worn a suit. But anyway, so, and then the 90s happened, and it's like, well, is he going to have a new persona for this decade, and he had a very, very big hit album with The One in '92 that I had on cassette and I liked.
Okay.
And then he was making The Lion King with Disney, and at that time the whole thing was sort of like The Lion King and Pocahontas were being made at the same time. This is some inside baseball from Disney. And nobody wanted to do The Lion King animator wise because it's so much harder to animate things with 4 legs.
Oh, yeah.
And so they thought of Pocahontas as like the next big thing, the really cool thing, and The Lion King as being like, ugh, I don't know, lions. So Elton John did this, but they got the, Broadway guys to do the other one. But anyway, obviously it became a huge success, and in no small part because of his songs and Hans Zimmer's score, I would guess, that everybody bought. So he was a big deal. He was cool. I would say that he wasn't straight up cool at this point like he is actually now.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Which is weird.
Right.
But at this point, I do not think that he was like really cool, but he was certainly very successful at being that middle-aged adult contemporary kind of version of himself at that point.
Right. So right after he did The Lion King, he did Made in England, which I believe that had, I think I know that Believe song. And
I thought that was a pretty bad album.
Yeah, but and then he a couple of then the greatest hits, and then this Big Picture. Okay, so this Big Picture album, I think, like this album, he seems to have crawled like so far up his own butt on this, because it's just a dirge to get through. It was like, oh my God, where is the... I mean, and I like some Elton John songs, like, Benny and the Jets, Goodbye Yellow Brick Road.
Oh, yeah. So you like some old...
Yeah. Your song. Come on.
So my introduction to Elton John's really interesting to me because I liked the 80s stuff a lot.
Yeah.
Blue Eyes, I like that song a lot. And, the faster stuff.
Rocket Man.
I don't want to go with you like that. But no, I'm just saying that's what I knew because it was on the radio and I liked it. And it wasn't until I started to actually develop some musical taste that I listened to. I kind of put 2 and 2 together that a lot of the really good kind of 70s stuff was Elton John too. But I guess I thought of them as almost like 2 separate people.
Sure.
Because it is just totally different music and attitude and style. And I mean,
right.
He really reinvented himself almost like Madonna in the 80s and 90s. But anyway, I liked The One. I thought that the songs in The Lion King were fine.
Yeah.
Nothing to write home about. And then everything since then, I have not been interested in or liked. Everything since then, like I think that was like the instant that Elton John just got broken.
Well, had you heard this album? Did you give this album a listen to back in 1997, or were you kind of like over Elton John at that time?
I was quite over him at that time.
Okay.
The Made in England thing, I didn't even buy. And I think I did have the Lion King soundtrack, but I actually bought it for the Hans Zimmer stuff that I liked, but because I was that kind of a nerd.
Sure.
No, I mean, honestly, I couldn't even conceive of a world where I would buy this CD in 1997, especially after he did that Diana thing. Not that I was mad at him, but it was just an old lady tacky thing to do, and I hated it. And I was like, no way in hell. I mean, he was just very severely uncool at that point.
Well, right, yeah, and this is a very uncool album. And
it is real lame. It's like a lazy brunch where you fall asleep or something.
Yeah, and I mean, it's so bad that Bernie Taupin has even called this his least favorite album that they've done together. Because
Yeah. Well, these lyrics are awful.
they're awful. They're awful. And he's said that. He said his
They're
lyrical
embarrassing.
yeah, the overall quality, he thinks it's bad because Bernie Taupin says he thinks it's bad because of the overall lyrical contribution. And yeah, they're just maudlin, and they're just like, oh my God, what are you talking about?
Seeing this on Wikipedia now. Now, I listened to this without prejudice.
Okay.
Except for I had some prejudice at the time, very much, because the Diana single came out like right before this album.
Yes, yeah. It was, yeah.
Just like, holy shit, dude.
Right.
And I was like, no way. So at the time, I was totally down on him, but I tried to give this an open mind listen.
Yes.
Because I did like the one, and I was like, I don't really listen to the later Elton John stuff, like and by later I mean like the last 30 years. But so I listened to it, and I kind of hear a little bit of the very highly polished studio stuff that goes on in the one, that I kind of enjoyed a little bit. But there definitely felt like there was a soul to that album, like
Yeah.
a feeling like he was still in there. Whereas this sounds like a computer generated AI Elton John album.
Yeah, right. And not even like, and it wasn't even like, let's make a good Elton John. It's, I guess, or like or a classic Elton John. This is almost like, let's take Lion King success Elton John, feed it through the algorithm, and this is what comes out. It's not even like, yeah, there's no.
It's about as good as the latest Netflix action movie.
Yeah, right. Yeah, this is a computer that has, and its only data point though is Lion King Elton John.
Don't you think it's hilarious the way Netflix is like they are trying to make a successful action movie, and they keep trying to put all the same ingredients as other successful movies, and it's never successful.
Well, right. Again, that's because you're relying too much on these data points. So you're like, okay, this. It's like, no, that is not how you do it.
The thing is that you could do it, but they are not using enough data points.
No, I guess not.
Like they're using very expensive explosions, very crystal clear looking cinematography, sophisticated martial arts, name star with jokes.
Yep. And you know what? You tell me that, and it's like, that sounds like a film I want to watch. But it's not.
It's not at all. It never is. Not
No.
if it's a Netflix movie. It's crazy. Oh, they're so bad at making movies.
They're bad.
The Netflix movies that are any good whatsoever are the ones that they just bought because somebody else made and they were good.
Right. Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, we're not talking about Netflix movies, but they're vastly more entertaining than listening to this album.
That's true. Eric, do you like any songs on this album at all?
I think that I might have tolerated the Wicked Dreams, the last song.
Is that it? It was either, is it Wicked Dreams or I Can't Steer My Heart? It must have been Wicked Dreams. That's the one that at least has a little bit of a beat to it, and actually is like, oh wait, okay, yeah, there is, you wore a rock and roller at one point.
Yeah, it's got that big sound.
Yeah.
I honestly was so bored by the rest of the album, it didn't wake me up. I was sensing that it was better, but I don't even think I knew that it was like kind of foot tapping. But it's like, Elton, you're good at that.
Yeah, right. It's so one note too. Like all of them.
And all of these tortured metaphors. We're going to live like horses. I was embarrassed.
Yes, yeah.
For him. It made me embarrassed for him.
If the river can bend, yeah.
What does that even mean?
No.
It can't. That's something that doesn't change.
Right. Again, I went in listening to this also like, okay, it could be fun. Elton has some good songs, they're talented musicians, but no, this was not good at all.
This is like a guy that works at Hallmark and hates his job.
Yeah, you know what? Bernie Taupin, I mean, I think he probably did hate it at this point, you know? It was kind of like...
I can't even express how excited I was when this album was over.
Yeah, I have a confession for the listener, and I'm sorry that I shirked my responsibilities, but I only listened to it once. I was not going to listen to it again.
No way in hell was I going to listen to that twice.
I was like,
way.
I was like, nope, I'm done.
Okay. So, Gary, say something positive about the big picture.
I don't think I can, no. I mean,
I can.
Okay.
I think the album cover is cool. It's a kind of a really interesting modern art picture of Elton.
Yeah.
Don't you like it?
I mean, I don't dislike it. I can't say that it's all that great. I mean, I guess it's better than just the one, right? Is that what was that album called? That
Yeah, the one is just a black and white picture of him. I'm not trying to compare it to his albums. I just like that it's art. Isn't that just a bunch of broken dishes?
Oh, is that what it is? Okay.
If you zoom in, it's like broken dishes that are lined up in a collage to look like Elton John.
Okay.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's cool. I'll give you that. Okay. You won me over. I like the cover art.
Yeah, it's neat. And so that's good. And I mean, whatever. I think that if somebody told me they liked that album, I would just say, okay, I'm glad. We just get something else out of Elton John songs than each other.
Yeah, right. And let's see. I'm going to take a quick look and let me see. Apple Music has Elton John Essentials. I hope to God there's not one song on the big picture.
Something about the way you look tonight.
It's not even on there. Nope. You got no, The One, Circle of Life, The Bitch is Back, Pinball Wizard. Look, even a cover. So yeah, nothing from the big picture is on Elton John Essentials because it's probably the least essential album ever.
I know. He's like, he lost his like creative spark such a long time ago.
Well, I mean, maybe he was still in mourning from Princess Diana passing away.
Were they that close?
I don't know. But it's like Elton.
I mean, even if they were friends, it's still tacky, Elton. I mean, I wish he had consulted with someone.
He should. Yeah, right. Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, he probably consulted with the record executive who was just like, "Cha-ching, yes, do it. I am tacky."
Dollar signs floating over his head.
It's like, I mean, they don't give it. They don't care about how.
Go record execs. They say do it. You ask the Queen. She says, "Please do not."
Yeah. Who are you gonna listen to? Oh.
Anyway. It was ugly too, that CD. It was like blue with white writing on it. It looked like it was made in a garage. Do you remember that album cover?
I don't know. I don't remember that.
You should Google it real fast so you can see I think it's called Candle in the Wind 97.
Yep, yeah. Oh, yeah, there's a white flower. It's a rose. Oh, see, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's blue with like a tacky picture of a white rose with all of this. It says "in loving memory of Diana, Princess of Wales" on it. And something about the way you look tonight is the A side.
Yeah, it's a double A side. Double. No B sides.
Wow, I just want to know what in the hell was going through his mind at this point. I do not.
I don't know. I don't even know.
I mean, I guess you could consider it like if you gave it to some charity that she was really into. I guess it's sort of like a GoFundMe or whatever.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I won't complain about that, but I don't think that's what happened. Did that happen? I don't know.
I mean, if that's what happened, he definitely was a philanthropist at the time, so
that's true.
I don't know which charity he went to, but he's a AIDS activist from back in the 80s. So I mean, he's I don't know how good a person he is, but he's been a philanthropist at least.
Sure,
for
sure.
quite some time.
Well, and that's fine. He's a good person, maybe. We don't know, unless he's maybe if he's like
I don't know.
he could be like Van Morrison and Eric Clapton now. Who knows?
I mean, anybody could be anybody. Obviously, whenever they are getting interviewed or they are on stage, they are putting on a character most of the time.
That's right.
But wasn't he in a Muppet movie or something?
Maybe, I don't know.
I feel like probably if somebody's performed with the Muppets, they probably are good deep down.
Okay. Let's see. I think Richard Pryor was in a Muppet movie, although I think he was good deep down. Charlie Manson was in a Muppet movie.
Charlie Manson. He really had an interesting career before the cult mass murder.
That's right. All right.
He did some work with the Beach Boys, I hear.
Well, he worked with one of. Oh no, he did. I think the Beach Boys did cover. Anyway, the big picture.
Let's please get back to this album.
We have a rating system. It's 1 star to 4 stars. 4 stars is good. 1 star bad. That's how it works. Eric, do you want to rate the big picture?
I do not. I will give it 0 stars.
Yeah, I guess.
I guess that last song's okay. It's maybe a half star.
Can we give? I guess 0 stars. Yeah, I'm not. I don't want to rate it either. It's so bad. This was such a bad album.
It's also. It's even aiming for a style of music that, if done well with hooks, would irritate me a little bit. But there's no hooks on this. It's no fun.
No,
the lyrics make me want to hit my head against the wall.
Yeah.
And every single one is this. It's like Elton. It's not fun.
Yeah. Go find something better to do. You know. It's just like, do not do this anymore.
It's somebody has to have a frank talk with Elton John about like what he wants the stage musical of his life to look like is where he needs to go in 1997.
That's right.
So took him like 2 more decades to figure out he just needs to kind of live in that groove he got into from like the late 60s to maybe the mid 80s.
Yeah, I'll go
out in there.
I'll go to the early 90s. You got the one, you can do your Lion King songs, but then that's it.
He hasn't embraced that in the nostalgia Elton John phase that we're in now.
No, he hasn't.
He's really embraced his early stuff, which is a legacy act, right?
Yep. Yeah, he's just an oldies act now. He's
a legacy act. He's coming to St. Louis, and I wonder what that's like. It's very expensive.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. Well, because all of his fans can afford it. They're all, hoarding all the money and stuff.
Right. No, it's probably a very small percentage of them.
That's true. You're right.
The rest of them are people. They're going to have to come live with us because there's not enough nursing homes in the universe for that generation.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my God. Be done with you, boomers. All right, we're going to take a break. We're going to come back and we're going to discuss the blockbuster, The Myth of Fingerprints.
Oh my gosh, it just towered over all the other movies at the box office.
Yes.
Consider the nuclear family. The parents.
Oh, the kids look good, huh?
There are more of them than I remember. The children. Good morning.
Oh, good morning. It's almost 1 o'clock. You sure you don't want to sleep a few more hours?
The significant others.
It's nice to be out here.
Hey, get up there and kill the spider.
She hates spiders.
I got it.
It's a complex system of highly charged particles.
That's my sister.
When placed closely together,
Can you just kiss me?
these particles tend to interact unpredictably.
Just be normal human being.
Becoming sources of friction,
Do you have any manners?
meltdown,
Hey, welcome back to my so-called podcast. It's me, Eric Spiegel.
And it's me, Gary Linton. I hope everybody enjoyed their break. We sure did. We're back to talk about the myth of fingerprints.
It's 4-3. 4-3.
That's updated. Yeah, that's the score of the trivia game. So I'm sure.
So for the careful listener, there you go. It's was 2-1. Now it's 4-3, Gary, but just by 1 point. That's all.
Yeah, right. There's you know what? There's plenty of game left.
Mm-hmm. That's true. But there'll always be stakes, Gary.
That's right.
And that's what makes it interesting. Would you like for me to tell you what you could have gone to see at the old Cinemaplex Odeon?
Yeah. You can tell us what was playing the same week that Bart Freundlich released The Myth of Fingerprints onto
Like something that was playing at
unsuspecting nation.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, probably you'd see that as at like oh, man, I don't even know, in 97.
Kirkwood Theater.
Kirkwood, yes, that's what you were. You could probably see this for like one weekend at Kirkwood Theater is my guess.
That's right, yep.
Yeah, but so if you didn't want to do that, here were your other choices. Number 10, George of the Jungle. Brendan Fraser doesn't wear a shirt again, and everybody loves it.
Yeah, he got really buff for that one.
Yeah, he had his shirt off a lot in
Encino
Man as well. He looked nice, but it wasn't that exaggerated buffness.
No,
it was normal buffness.
Yeah, in George of the Jungle, he was superhero buff.
He was a real naked beefcake.
That's right.
I'm assuming that those movies appealed to a good section of the male audience as well as female.
Yeah, probably.
And children.
Yes.
Disney are geniuses. Number 9, Excess Baggage. The first time I ever was aware of Benicio del Toro was in this Alicia Silverstone vehicle, Excess Baggage, from Sony Pictures Entertainment.
Yeah, I went and saw that. I went and saw this that with my sister. So so was this in September '97? Because it had to be.
Well, it could have been out like at the Dollar Show or something later on.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, that seems like something I'd go see at the Dollar Show.
Yeah. Maybe it was that.
Like the Mark Wahlberg movie Fear. That was a perfect movie to see for $1.
That's right.
You could also go see A Conspiracy Theory at number 8. The Julia Roberts, Mel Gibson put him in a movie, kind of a Netflix movie, kind of a deal.
That's right.
These people are famous. Can we put them in a movie somehow? Conspiracy Theory. Or you could go see number 7, Hoodlum. Which I want to say is like a period piece. Is that right?
Oh, maybe it is. Yeah, kind of
like a Jane Austen,
but an early America period piece,
yes,
right?
It is. It's gangsters in the 1920s and 30s. It has. Listen to this. It's got Tim Roth, Lawrence Fishburne, and I think Andy Garcia. Yeah. Tim Roth, Andy Garcia, and Lawrence Fishburne, Vanessa Williams. We should watch this for the podcast.
Sure.
I want to see if this is any good. About $30 million budget.
All right.
1997. Hoodlum. About the 1920s and early 1930s gangsters. I'd watch that.
Yeah, all right.
I mean, I assume it's trash since I've never seen it, but maybe not.
Okay.
That's my future review of Hoodlum. Number 6, Air Force One, Get Off My Plane. But it won't get out of the top 10 with 160 Hume. Number 5, The Full Monty in its 16th blockbuster sleeper hit week. In its 16th week. That's funny. It went on to make a lot more money than this.
Yeah, it was a huge hit. And we haven't talked about The Full Monty yet, have we?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
Number 4, Money Talks, and Chris Tucker talks a lot as well in this movie.
We talked about Money Talks.
Yeah. Number 3, Fire Down Below. The Steven Seagal directed his first really big flop movie, and it also sounds like you have a UTI, like urinary infection.
That's what I say when I'm on my dates. I'm always like, there's not going to be any fun stuff tonight. There's a fire down below, if you know what I mean.
Well, if you say that on all your dates, I feel like you have several problems that I want to address.
Well, we don't have time for it. We don't have time for it here on this fire. We got to talk about the Myth of Fingerprints.
You could also go see number 2, G.I. Jane, the Ridley Scott intense action movie about the female soldier.
Demi Moore.
Big hit. Big famous person.
She's she's a real actress because she shaved her head. She did that for that movie.
They expected her to open this huge action movie, and she did. I mean, she was a movie star at the time.
She was. She was striptease and this one and
Well, those were the huge paydays, but I think she was like more famous for like Ghost and the earlier 90s stuff.
Oh, right? Yeah, Disclosure, Indecent Proposal.
She's terrible. Like, she's always terrible.
Yeah. I mean, she was all right in Ghost.
Yeah, but she's like kind of odd. Like her reactions don't totally make sense. And I guess I thought it was kind of cute because like, what, she's some weirdo?
Yep.
But like, she's just always kind of terrible. I don't know. She's not my favorite. Number 1 is the Game, David Fincher's follow-up to 7.
It's Michael Douglas, right?
Michael Douglas, star of Indecent Proposal, and Sean Penn slumming a little bit here.
No, Michael Douglas, star of Disclosure, not Indecent Proposal.
Oh, that's right. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's correct. I knew I was mixing my stuff there. At least I didn't get it mixed up with Basic Instinct or Fatal Attraction or Jagged Edge.
Yes.
Or Body of Evidence.
Or Black Rain.
Wait. That's about the Japanese mafia, right?
That's right.
That's Ridley Scott.
Yep.
That's a movie that I think people are starting to come back to and say it's actually pretty good, but it's like painfully uncool.
Yeah, my father really liked it. That's all I know. He would have watched it several times, and he's like, "This is a great movie." I was like, "I don't know, Dad." I mean, I don't know.
To him.
Yeah. So good on him. So
yeah, he liked it.
Yes.
So the Game. I don't know if we've done that for the podcast either. If we did, it's been a while.
No, we haven't.
But an interesting movie, a very Finchy movie, in its look.
Aren't they all?
Yeah.
I guess maybe not Mank.
Well, I mean, yeah, it has its own look, doesn't it?
Yep.
I think David Fincher, I feel a little robbed by TV. Like, stop messing around with House of Cards, David, and make a movie. Like, I like movies that you make a lot. I love the way they look. Stop making Manhunter, or Mindhunter, or whatever it was called. Mindhunter is great. I like it, but like if I could trade Mindhunter in for like a couple of David Fincher movies, I would like to.
Yeah, just give us another Zodiac. Ooh, Zodiac 2. Copyright. I mailed it to myself.
It's starring a retired Ted Cruz at that point, I guess.
That's right. Yeah.
So those were the movies. You, dear listener. It was September, and you know what people want to go see in September, Gary?
A movie about Thanksgiving.
They're like, let's roast some chestnuts and bake a turkey. It's colors of the leaves haven't even changed yet.
That is strange that they released this so early. What was the studio behind that? All right. Bart Freundlich's The Myth of Fingerprints. Listening to that trailer, it made it sound like it was supposed to be a comedy almost. They were trying to make it sound like a comedy.
I was going to remark very much on that. Like, whenever have you seen the re-edited trailer for The Shining called Shining?
Yes, it's a feel-good story. Yes, it's a boy and his father come together.
That's essentially what they did with that trailer we were listening to. The tone was so goofy and stupid, and the tone of this movie is not that at all. They're just lying.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so either, well, I guess either this movie is just aggressively pointless. Or
you got to think of another thing.
Or it's a story that had to be told.
I'll tell you what, Gary.
Yeah.
It's hard, having watched The Myth of Fingerprints all the way through, to be a fair judge of The Myth of Fingerprints, because I do think that it has a fairly effective setup.
Okay.
I like the location. I do like things where somebody comes home for Thanksgiving. I'm sorry. I wish there were more of them.
Okay.
And I particularly like the evenings around Thanksgiving, like where it's going to be a 4-day weekend, but it's dark all the time. And I really like the idea that like some secrets are going to come up to light with this family.
But they don't. But no secrets do come to light.
I'm just being honest, that I liked the first half of this movie for the aesthetic and for the little world of it.
Yes.
And I guess you got one of two choices. You could be a realist and say it was effective to begin with. And I do think the actors are acting their little booties off.
Yeah. So, okay, who stars in this movie? We got your Roy Scheider, Jaws himself.
Yeah, Jaws is in this. Blythe Danner.
Yeah.
Mrs. Paltrow.
Yes.
You got the writer's wife, Julianne Moore. That's why Julianne Moore's in this picture.
That's right. Actually, they didn't become married till after this. They met on this. Mr. ER himself, he was on every episode. The only guy that can say, or wait, was Eric LaSalle on every episode of?
No, he retired, I think.
Yeah, I think so. Noah Wiley, the one who went from the beginning to the end of ER. So
yeah, Noah Wiley is actually a terrific actor, I think. He had a lot to pull off on that ER show, and
yes.
I think he usually did it really, really well. I think he's probably one of the reasons that show was as popular as it was for so long. He's a very compelling actor, right?
Yeah, well, he was the audience surrogate on the first season. It was like he's coming into the ER as the attending, and yeah, he was us for he was great on it. I guess that's all I can really say.
Yeah. What would you say, Gary, and sorry, Noah Wiley, that everything that you're in makes people think of VR. It's just the way it is. It's okay. Christopher Reeve was Superman. Deal with it. Anyway.
That's right. Hope Davis also. But go on.
Oh yeah, Hope Davis at her most annoying.
Yes.
So I guess we should talk about this movie. I'm sorry. I was going to ask, what do you think is the closest thing on television right now? In quotation marks, television to ER, and I cannot think of a damn thing that's like that. Not a procedural necessarily, but just a show like that where there's like lots of characters on it that everybody likes and wants to watch all these characters' lives, but there's not like one overarching story to the whole series.
Yeah, right. Where the location, I mean, I guess, Dick Wolf's doing some of those Chicago Hope or not Chicago Hope.
That's true.
But, so I don't know.
Chicago PD and fire department and stuff. Yeah, I haven't watched any of that stuff. So maybe I just don't even give it a chance. Maybe I would like it anyway.
Yeah.
So the Myth of Fingerprints. You got your patriarch Roy Scheider and his wife Blythe Danner live in a big country house,
right?
And it's like the anti-Hallmark movie. It's always dark and creepy in this country house because there's secrets to be unearthed, right, Gary?
No,
it seems that way at this point.
Yes. So, and it even starts out okay. So starts out where we're seeing some home footage of the kids. And it was at a birthday party, I guess. That's what the credits are playing over.
Right.
And
big family.
Yeah, and it felt like those felt like they went on for a little too long too. So that wasn't a good sign. I was like, oh my gosh, how long are these taking? And then we get.
Did you have to go to the bathroom? Or something?
Maybe. and then Noah Wiley. So we also see, Juliana Moore working in a painting. Noah Wiley's talking to his psychiatrist, saying, he's gonna go home for Thanksgiving, and it's been 3 years.
Yeah, I forgot that. And they do a fairly interesting thing that I think is underused. I like it. Is when there's a conversation going on and you just hold on one of the people, but you hear the other person from off screen.
Okay.
It's kind of an unnerving thing. Like you keep waiting for it to cut and it increases the tension. But those scenes were pretty good because they were essentially just Noah Wiley acting exercises.
Yes. Yeah. Right. Yeah. I thought he did a good job. And then it cuts, or I don't know if cuts to, but then I guess the next significant scene is Noah Wiley arrives home. He's already arriving home, and Roy Scheider, the dad, is not happy to see him. I thought you were going to show up early.
Right. And he's kind of a grump, right?
Yeah. He's a real grumpy Gus.
And the mom is sort of the peacemaker. She's kind of calms him down.
Yes. Yeah. He's complaining about him. Is he complaining about him right away? And she's like, well, of course he could. Or no, Wiley says, I can come home or something like that. I don't know.
He complains because he wanted to refinish the
that's right.
kitchen tabletop.
And she's like,
she says, well, he could maybe do it with you. And she just looks at her. So there's a lot of stuff like this as the movie progresses. We get two other siblings that come with their significant others.
Yeah, and they had to
one male, one female, and they're both having sex on the way there for some reason.
Right, agreed. For some reason, to add, I don't know, just a little bit of sex to the movie, I guess. I don't know.
That's what it seemed like.
Yeah.
Or like a stiff writing exercise because they want to talk about sex when they're around the dinner table later, so they have to have that earlier so they can reference it, perhaps.
I guess so, yeah.
It does feel like a play also that's been expanded into a movie to me.
Yeah, because it all just takes place at the, kind of. But I mean, I was thinking about that too, and I guess just Thanksgiving kind of sets yourself up to be like a play because last year
point.
we did the House of Yes for Thanksgiving, and
you could totally have a play version of Home for the Holidays too.
Right.
Yeah, that's true because it's like 3 rooms.
Yeah.
But anyway, I felt like this was, a pretty good setup for a play where everybody's arriving. They don't have great relationships with the people they bring. So Julianne Moore brings a guy who is kind of schlubby.
Yeah.
And she seems to barely tolerate him. The young, handsome stud muffin.
Michael Vartan. He went on
Yeah.
to be an Alias.
He's a good-looking guy. He brings his girlfriend, who's Hope Davis, who is like the most annoying person at the party,
Yeah. Hope Davis is
figuratively
really,
and literally.
yes. She does a good job of acting because we're annoyed by her, which I
Yeah.
think you're supposed to be.
Yeah, it's hard to say if she's doing a good job of acting because she only has one note to play in this.
That's true. I was a little confused. I'm going to go ahead and say right now. So we've introduced. There's 4 siblings. The one Lauren Holloman.
There's 4? There's 3. Oh, no. Yeah, there's that girl that lives in the attic.
Yeah. So that's Lauren Holloman's playing that character. She's the youngest. Okay. The relationship of the other 3, I don't know, and I feel like that would. Right. I mean, it adds to the dynamic of a family, of where you are, what child you are. But I don't think the movie does a good job of is
Letting us
Juliana
know.
Moore the oldest? But then Blythe Danner later talks about how when Michael Vartan went away to college, and it's like, oh, is he the oldest then?
You mean Jake?
Yeah. Is that was his name in the movie?
Yeah, Michael Vartan.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's Jake. Jake and Lauren Holloman is Lee. Noah Wiley is Warren.
That's right.
And Julianne Moore is Mia. It's definitely like this. It reads like a really amazing, first play for a college undergrad person.
I guess I don't know. So because
Okay, maybe not really amazing.
right.
Like competent.
Yes.
But as you've alluded, there's a lot going on mystery box wise here.
Yeah, well, right. I mean, I guess so. You go into a movie and it's like, okay, something's going to happen. Yeah, we're all getting together, and so something's going to happen, but then nothing does.
Well, I mean, they definitely do show them getting under each other's skin and being unable to connect emotionally, and they depict the father as being somehow responsible for that obliquely through this, the big reveal. Spoiler alert for the Myth of Fingerprints.
Right. What's the big reveal? What was the big reveal? That
Drunkenly,
he kissed
Roy Scheider kissed Noah Wiley's then girlfriend, who then after that Thanksgiving left town, went away
yes
from him and his father, and Noah Wiley is just now learning this. We think.
Oh yes, okay. So I mean that's
So
it.
later
Though.
it is revealed that he did know all
He
along.
did know
so there
all
was
along.
literally no secret.
Right.
But I guess they're repressed. Like they don't talk about things and they avoid things. Is that what we're supposed to get out of this?
I have no idea.
Mia, Julianne Moore's character, is very unhappy.
Yes.
She works in an art gallery and she can't remember her name whenever she answers the phone sometimes. I don't know what that means, but she's not happy.
Right, yeah, and that's so she tells James LaGrosse that, who is like, he changed his name to Cezanne. Cezanne, that's right.
Now, that might be my favorite character and portion of the film.
Yeah.
Tell us how we get to him.
So Julianne Moore is reading a novel, but she
about rabbits.
what was it called? The Scream of Rabbits or something?
I don't know. I wish I knew. It's not on Wikipedia.
It's there's nothing on Wikipedia about this movie. This movie
it's like it is a movie.
Yeah. And I think the only bit of trivia is that Juliana Moore and Bart Freundlich met on this and then married.
What do you think happened if he if she goes back and watches this now and she's like, ooh.
Yeah. I want an annulment, not a divorce. Our whole marriage has been a lie and I need it annulled.
I don't want to be too hard on this because I do think that I think they do a nice little job of setting up the mystery, and I do like for example the set decoration, like the feel of the sets, and I do kind of like the cinematography. Is it that really early digital?
Probably. I don't know. Yeah, it seemed like that, right?
It seemed kind of.
I mean, I don't know how well our copy was. We watched it on Amazon Prime. It's currently on Prime.
They've got a new feature where it can look like very early digital.
That's right. I think so. I mean, 1997, it probably was early digital.
Yeah. So tell us how. So she's reading the Scream of the Rabbits or whatever.
The ending has been ripped out. She can't finish the ending because it's been ripped out. Roy Scheider's used it for kindling. She's like, well, I gotta finish this book. I have to finish this book.
She's a real grump.
Yeah. And so she drives to the store. Her boyfriend's like, I can go with you. And she's like, no, I don't even like you. I don't know why I even brought you. She goes to the bookstore. She's a real grumpy Gus there, too. You probably don't even have it. Do you have any books in the back? No, what we have here. I can order it. Oh, can you get it to me in like 10 minutes?
Right. She's a real grump.
Yeah. And then she leaves, and he's been eyeing her the whole time. James LaGrosse has been, he's like, I think I know her from when I acted in Safe. Because I think we were in Safe together.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they were both in Safe. And Todd Haynes is Safe. And he goes out and he's like, Mia, I know who you are. Do you remember me? You don't remember me? And she's like, no. And he's, what's your name? And he's like, well, you wouldn't know it. I've changed it. She's like, well, what was your name then? He's like, Paul, right? But it's Cezanne now.
Is it Paul? What's his name?
What's
the actor's name?
James LaGrosse.
Oh, he's not even on Wikipedia for this.
Oh, really?
Oh my goodness. Anyway, yeah, but so he's Cezanne, but he gets out of her, never explain why he's Cezanne. He gets out of her, or the story about the book, and he's read the book, so he wants to tell her the end.
Yes.
And it's like a connection she has with him from childhood that she doesn't remember.
Yeah, right. He said he was their first boyfriend, and they apparently wrote her a card in kindergarten or whatever, preschool. And yeah, that's what it is.
Right. So is this supposed to be symbolic of she goes home and the father has taken away her ending, and he's giving it back to her somehow, or she has to take it for herself or something?
No idea. I think you're reading too much into it.
Oh, really? No,
I don't know.
I think Bart might actually be. He graduated with a double major in cinema studies and film and television production from New York City's Tisch School of the Arts.
Oh, no, you're right then. No, yeah, that's exactly what it means. So
here, I think that he is doing that because Noah Wiley then comes home and he has to have, or does he? About something that his father has taken from him, right?
Right.
His ending with his girlfriend, right? So, but they don't have you gotta have more balls than this movie does, because the story is that the dad is a cold, unknowable monster that kind of ruined everybody's childhood, essentially, right?
Yes.
Nobody ever says that in this movie.
And then what's that scene where Roy Scheider is in Jake's bedroom talking about how he's humming the song? He's like, I forget the lyrics, but
was he sleepwalking? What was going on there?
Yeah, it was like, does he have Alzheimer's now, or what's?
Maybe it's the beginnings of Alzheimer's.
Yeah, but that again is not explored in any other way, and then. Right. Blight Danner says, I have a million reasons, or I have 1,000 reasons why I stay with your father. And it's like, so she's saying that to Mia, and it's like, was there something more? Or was it just because I mean, look, he was a jerk and he shouldn't have kissed Noah Wiley's girlfriend. And I thought her reaction to like, why are you doing this? Was like, oh, that's very, I guess a realistic reaction to be like, yeah, why are you doing this? But,
Yeah, so the thing that I feel like happened and happened fairly well, was some of these actors sort of do inhabit these characters in a way that makes you feel like you want to know more of their story. I think that they are fairly good at, like, I think the woman who plays his ex-girlfriend is really good and naturalistic with him, and I believe that they have an old relationship, and I love that they like went to a diner to meet and stuff in this small town. It's got a great vibe. The snow's on the ground, but there's another scene where he goes hunting and he like puts something on the ground and then he shoots the shotgun away from it, and then it's all in a long shot.
Yeah. So I believe what happened there is he said he was going to go hunting. He just went and bought a turkey. He's walking back with a bought turkey. But
why does he fire the gun?
He shoots it so that they see the bullets that
didn't think that he was pointing it at the turkey when he shot it.
I think he shot the turkey.
Oh, okay. So he's a fraud.
Yeah, basically.
He doesn't even kill the turkeys.
That's right.
He's not all that you want out of a father. So these 3 kids have bad fathers. Oh, 4 kids. They have bad fathers. They have a bad father, and I guess some sort of a unexplored relationship with Blythe Danner that made them have bad relationships somehow.
Well, right. And I guess that is one quote of it too, where I think one point is like, hey, if we had a bad relationship as kids, what was it? It was something.
Yeah. Do you have to have a healthy family growing up to develop relationships later in life? And Julia Moore says, God, I hope not. So that's interesting, because at that point in the screenplay, the metaphorical becomes text. Like they start talking about their family almost like it's family therapy.
Right.
And they're just sort of explicitly stating the themes of the movie. And now that I think about it, like, I only think those are the themes because the characters talk about the themes to one another.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, and then that's just another weakness of it that I was kind of like, why? So,
I mean, I don't know what direction he gave Roy Scheider, because there's no explanation ever given for his behavior, and it's not very interesting anyway.
No.
He's like a non-entity, which is an interesting choice. Like, I guess some people are sort of absent relationally, but that's not really that fun to watch for 2 hours or whatever.
Yeah, an hour and a half.
Like, he could be dead and they could be talking about what he was like. We don't need to see it.
Yeah, right, exactly. And so I just, so
you didn't think that, like, if you were in the Noah Wiley's, I forgot his name already, Warren. You're in Warren's position and you find out that the reason that your girlfriend left town several years ago and you haven't even talked to her is because your dad, like, almost sexually assaulted her in whatever, in a really inappropriate way, and you've never really liked your dad. Like, what are you going to do about it? I thought that was kind of interesting. Like, what would you do about it? What can you do about it? Like, are you supposed to tell him off? Are you supposed to tell all your friends? Are you just supposed to let it go? Like, I do think that's an interesting conundrum, but again, it is not resolved in an intelligent way. in any way or at all.
I think it kind of is resolved. I mean, Warren gets up early after Thanksgiving and leaves with his girlfriend, and it's kind of like, and the dad sees him. He's opened the window, Roy Scheider, and he says Warren, and Warren looks back, and the dad hides, and so it's like he's not coming back. He's not going to be there. He's not going to talk to him anymore. I don't think. It's
But it's tricky, right? Like, wouldn't you want to see his mom?
Right. Yeah. I mean,
and that's where the interesting layers of this kind of situation would come from. Like, I think Dad's a total bastard. And even if he stands up to him for real, he still might want to talk to his mom. So that's where the drama would come in for me.
Well, yeah.
But they just never dramatize any of these things they're cryptically hinting at for the first half.
Right. And I think the whole premise is flawed. I mean, these are adults. They're there on, so Thanksgiving is Thursday. I mean, Noah Wiley arrives on Monday, and it's like, okay, maybe he arrives, but then why are everybody else there on Tuesday? Because we got Tuesday night dinner, then we have a Wednesday night dinner.
I know. I thought Wednesday night dinner was Thanksgiving.
Exactly. It was like, okay,
I was watching it.
Exactly, and then then the next day is Thanksgiving, and they have that, and it's kind of like, why are they spending so much time there? You are all adults. I understand Juliana Moore comes in from a train, and I guess it's a little bit, but it's like, no, find a hotel room. Don't spend the night at your parents' house.
Yeah, especially if you know who your dad is.
Exactly. Yeah.
But would it break Mom's heart? This is the stuff they don't discuss, though.
Right. And Mom will be there. It's just we can't be in the house with this dad. And she's like, I know there's still 1,000 reasons I stay with your dad, but I know he's a creep. I still love him. I'm sorry. I tried to do the best. None of that is talked about. And I guess it's because they're New Englanders. I don't know.
Repression. Yeah. So it's repression. So we don't get catharsis. There's just a sort of a half confrontation.
Yes.
The big action scene. When Roy Scheider falls over.
Yes. Noah Wiley Warren pushes Roy Scheider.
And he's trying to, and Roy Scheider's trying to deny and gaslight everybody like immediately. He's like, I just fell. It's fine. And he leaves the room. It's like, okay.
Yeah, exactly. No, we know you were dancing and you didn't stop. You were being a jerk. Like you've always been.
Right. So, I mean, I guess the lesson learned here is like speak your mind to your father.
Yep.
Especially if you're a grown-ass person with grown-ass siblings there to back you up. Like, just talk to your siblings.
Yes.
Like, if they would just talk to each other and say, like, you know, when we were growing up, did you think Dad was creepy?
Yeah, and then they show that scene of the kids later. Like, I guess that's also a big reveal because the credits are the scenes of the birthday party, and then you see the video of, and I guess it was Warren that he cracked the egg. He actually cracked eggs on his head.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like, yeah, why would you do that to your son? That's just being kind of mean, a bully to your son.
Yeah. Yeah, well, especially in light of what we've seen out of him. I didn't see one positive characteristic in the movie about this guy, but also not like interestingly evil. He's just an irritating person.
Yeah, he was. So, yeah, that's it. I mean, that's the end of the movie. Warren
Don't you hate it when your dad's an irritating person that doesn't respect people's boundaries?
I don't know. Talk to my kids.
And, you know, Roy Scheider, he's awesome in some things. He's really good in Jaws. I mean, he's awesome in Jaws. And,
a chorus line.
He was really good in, jazz singer.
Jazz singer, yeah, that's it. Yeah,
You know, he's in some classic movies, and he just doesn't have anything to do here. I do like that the older people are... all that jazz.
All that jazz.
Yeah, the Bob Fosse one.
Yep.
You know, I do like that they're like in their 60s or whatnot, and they're depicted as sexually active. That's not normally in movies.
Yeah, and I guess, I mean, that was supposed to be a funny scene. And there was other things where I was like, is this supposed to be played
so
for?
If this was supposed to be funny, like in the same tone as The House of Yes.
Yes.
It was wildly unsuccessful.
Yes. It was so bad.
But I do not think that's what they're going for. I think it could have been cut as a comedy. I don't think that he knows what he's doing.
What was the
I don't
first
think
movie?
he has an idea of what he's doing, except for he wants to create characters in a house in New England at Thanksgiving that have conflicts. And I think he created that, but then he couldn't come up with the story. So he just kind of. I mean, I do think the whole like dad is a creep. Like, I mean, first of all, what I was saying earlier is that this movie doesn't have the courage of his convictions, because like if he had actually done something dreadful,
Yes.
like
well, and that's the thing. It's like, okay, who did he molest?
right, did he molest somebody? Did he
Yes.
murder somebody?
Yes.
Did he kill somebody and it's an accident he's covering up? That would be so much more fun.
Yes.
If there was a thing and then they had to confront him, and then, you know, like a really big action sequence with like they go out to the barn, there's horses.
Of course, there's going to be horses.
Now I feel like it's Bart and Fink. We're like,
Oh, yeah, that's right.
add some sex and a little sex. So he put the sex on he front loaded the
They
sex.
front loaded it. That's right.
Yeah, I mean, it was like they had creaky mattresses, and everybody was doing it except for the single people, and they could all hear everybody else doing it, which is, I mean, fairly kinky, I suppose.
Yeah, well, right.
There
The
was
parents.
no consent.
No, and then so their kids decide to do it, and that for whatever reason, Blythe Danner is like, oh yeah, we'll show these young kids. It's like, those are your kids.
Yeah.
You know, why is that getting you turned on?
Yeah, and at this point, Roy Scheider has seemed fairly normal.
Yes,
Except for saying he's a little upset that his son's a day early. So, I mean, like, I think they're trying to show that he's rigid. He sort of just likes things a certain way, and he doesn't like to deviate. There's old men like that like,
Yes.
oh, now I'm going to have to take an extra day, you know, to drive somewhere or whatever, you know?
Yes.
So fine, he's a curmudgeon, but like you could play that as goofy, like grumpy old men too. Like you don't have they didn't make him a villain totally.
No, I mean,
So
yeah.
like, just, you know, I don't know. And I guess Noah Wyle has a therapist, but I feel like that guy needs to work a little harder.
I don't know. Yeah, he's not
These
doing.
problems could be addressed in
Yeah.
therapy.
He didn't do a good job.
I mean, did he get to I guess maybe if Noah Wyle wouldn't tell the therapist about the kiss, if he was too
Yeah.
afraid to, then you're never going to get
That's
anything
true.
out of
You
therapy.
got to be honest with yourself first.
Right. So this has been Eric's Therapy Minute.
All right. Yeah, I don't have anything else to say about the Myth of Fingerprints. How about you?
No, it was a genuine disappointment.
Yeah, I mean, especially with that cast, you know, it's like, oh, this is going to be good. They're going to act the hell out of it. And I guess they did, but they just didn't have anything to act the hell out of.
I mean, it was a genuine disappointment for me actively watching it, because it started off a little weird with the sex jokes, but then it settled into a vibe I enjoyed. And then I was interested about the mystery. And then when it was revealed, I was like, huh. And then the rest of the movie after that, I was like, really?
Oh, yeah.
When the credits rolled, I thought it was a joke.
Right,
Like,
right. I watched it
Did not
backwards.
have a third act.
I watched it backwards to make sure I didn't miss anything. I was like, I'm going to rewind this. No, but
I think I might have.
sure.
Because, yeah, it just ends. It's act 1, act 2, over.
Yep, over. Nothing. No
So weird.
It's like, I mean, yeah, so, you know, somebody's supposed to grow and change is the reason we're watching a movie at this time. And I guess Noah Wyle does. I don't know.
I don't think so. I mean, he passive-aggressively sort of yells at his dad.
Yeah.
Then he runs away like a coward.
Yeah. I guess he gets his girlfriend back, though, so.
Right. Why, though?
Well,
They don't even show us that, really.
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, they were a fine couple, I guess. He was happy to have her.
Yeah. I liked her whole deal.
Sure. Eric, what are you going to give The Myth of Fingerprints on a 1 through 4 star rating?
I mean, if you want to put it on in the background while you're like cooking for Thanksgiving or whatever,
I mean,
then
this is it goes on your Thanksgiving playlist.
right.
Yes.
Like, or even with the sound down, but you could have the sound up. Like,
Okay.
if you caught a scene of this or two on television around Thanksgiving, you'd be like, that looks pretty good.
Yes. Yeah.
And it definitely gives you that Thanksgiving vibe. And, you know, the individual actors are doing what they can. So if you want to watch that and not expect an ending, then I would give this 2 stars.
Yeah.
But if knowing that the ending isn't there would make rewatching it worse.
Yes.
It's like the opposite of The Sixth Sense.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, you're watching it knowing you're like, well, I'm not going to be, satisfied with this at all. So,
No, this is going to be bland and tasteless.
Exactly.
But, asterisk, 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 2 stars to only be watched on the background while you do something else around Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I'm giving it 1 star. 1 star. Like I said, aggressively pointless. It was like,
Aggressively pointless. Yeah. I mean, it just seems like he got 0 feedback from anyone on this screenplay.
yeah, it could use another pass. Thanks for listening to my so-called podcast. I've been Gary Linton.
And I've been Eric Spiegel.
We'll be back in 2 weeks, probably with another Thanksgiving. Well, no, we're going to be past Thanksgiving in 2 weeks.
You never know what we'll do there.
That's true.